The following program was paid for by Southern American Media. Fox 30 WGBC invites you to the talk of all the towns in East Mississippi and West Alabama. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
And good Friday morning. I'm Scotty Ray along with Candace, and it almost makes you want to break into John Denver. Thank God I'm a country boy. Got cakes on the griddle. Anybody remember that?
I do. I remember it. Mm-hmm.
That's one of those that is probably just best never remade. You know, there's just certain songs that you hear that no one else could do.
Mm-hmm. That's a classic, John Denver.
Yeah, oh boy.
Yeah.
Leaving on a Jet Plane was the one that made the man money. Leaving. What movie was that? The football player leaving on? No. That was Armageddon, where they sang that of leaving on a jet plane. John Denver, the one who wrote that put him in the money and got him back on the road from bankruptcy. Oh, Mississippi, did we mention this? Making national headline news once again. Tater Bug, one-term Tate, makes the news as he says it's clean water in Jackson, Mississippi now.
Quick to talk about clean water.
Yeah. What did it take?
I'm glad they do have clean water.
7 weeks, is that right? God bless them. They've been through a lot over there.
Yeah.
I don't know how the restaurants and places like that made it through that.
I don't either, because I was talking to somebody the other day about that. You don't realize how much they use water in a restaurant. You cook with it, you wash dishes with it, you know.
Well, what about your trade of professional ladies that do hair?
Oh, yeah. How did they do? I would not want my hair shampooed with this water that they had.
Let me back up, be politically correct. There are men that also do hair cutting. I forgot about that. Not barbers.
I don't know that barbers shampoo hair, though.
Okay.
They might,
well,
but I'm not real sure.
I never saw
think they do.
Floyd use it at the over there at the haircutting place there.
Yeah.
I'll have to talk to the Gordons. That's still up across from the post office and ask them what they do.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I don't think that they shampoo hair. But I think that I do wish I had the vacuum system that they use though on their clippers, because
what is there, like a vacuum cleaner?
Yeah, it's like a hose hooked to their clippers, so when they cut hair, it goes up in the hose. You don't have to worry about hair everywhere, and
all you got to do is just duct tape your clippers there to a shop vac, and you got it.
Yeah, I guess.
Look at it. It takes me to solve the world's problems there. Good morning. As we begin this Friday, we have got sunshine for the next 7 days in our forecast. It is going to be some kind of nice. As we turn to that forecast, let's just take a quick peek at what it looks like here. Isn't this wonderful? Look at that.
It is. Yes.
All the way across. Now, we do get a little warm toward the end of next week, but overall, we got some 60-degree weather all the way through, well, about Wednesday of next week. Cool mornings when you wake up.
Yeah, fall's just like peeking around the corner.
And for those of you who are on blood thinner, get you a jacket for early in the day.
I love the cool weather, though.
Yeah, I think we all had it. It's just that it's like you can inhale it better. At least
it's like you can breathe better. Because the humidity is it just feels like you could cut the air. Sometimes it's so thick.
Yeah, you breathe heavy in Mississippi or Alabama during July, you almost will fall out.
Yes.
We know how that works.
We have better hair days, too, in the fall.
That's for some people.
The humidity is just it's not our friend.
For the rest of us that don't quite have as much hair as the rest of y'all, it really doesn't matter.
Speaking of hair, somebody said your shirt matches your beard.
Uh-oh.
Your beard matches your shirt.
I started, I don't know, 5, 6, maybe, I don't even, time flies. Maybe I grew that about 10 years ago, and I hadn't looked back. It's just there. It's easier. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Let's see what went on in the overnight hours. Let's see here. Let's pull up a few things and go into what we do know. Now, I always bring these things up to be on the precautionary side. If you're watching from this portion of town, I highly suggest you go check your car anywhere over there, because there was folks out opening door handles last night near all the motels. And I'm not talking about the no-tail motels, but this area here. Right here on 11 and 80, they were seen pulling door handles, checking them last night. So if you live anywhere in that neighborhood, even here on B Street, check your belongings, because there's a good chance that somebody might have borrowed something of yours. 8th Street. We're also getting word that some possible businesses may have fell victim to some busted windows and people going in on 8th Street. Check it when you come in. I know there's a lot of businesses that don't open up till 10 o'clock-ish.
Right.
And kind of late finding out, 9 o'clock or so when you get there. Yeah. I don't know of anything major that was taken, but it still costs money to have your window redone.
Oh yeah, I mean,
even if they didn't take nothing. So,
right, that's a lot of money.
oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Some windows cost more than others also.
Yeah, those big picture windows a lot of businesses have.
And
money.
have you ever taken a window out? You know the old window panes out of houses? If you peel off that little rubber that goes around, you can get that out if you ever have to replace one.
Okay.
Somebody, I'm not saying who, got locked out of their house and had to knock one out, and I had to help them replace a window pane one time. And that's how you do it.
Okay.
Things that you learn on the fly.
That's good to know.
Yeah, we go down to Clark County next. And we briefly mentioned this yesterday about that car that was stolen from Bassett City. Y'all remember the Corvette that was stolen?
Yes.
I spoke with Deputy Chief Barry White, and they have somebody in custody in the jailhouse now, and these are the two there. Made pretty good pictures there. Let's go ahead and blow that up so we can see it better.
They look
Photogenic.
They look a little tired.
Yeah,
a little sleepy.
In the jailhouse now. He's in on $25,000 bond. She's got $10,000. Don't borrow somebody's Corvette without asking.
Right.
People don't typically like it.
Yeah, that's a no-no. If I had a Corvette and somebody borrowed it without asking, I think I'd be very irate.
You'd be upset over your minivan.
I'd be mad. Mm-hmm.
So I've never noticed that. I have to ask. Inquiring minds want to know. Did you ever have a minivan?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I slammed these three fingers with it shut and latched in the sliding door of that minivan.
So did you say some words and finally get it open?
Yes, I did. I thought
You could
I
control
was
yourself?
really afraid to open the door because I thought the tips of these fingers are going to be laying on the ground. I mean, it scared me. But thank goodness for the rubber stripping around the door. 'Cause
Saved
that's
it?
the only thing that saved my fingers, yeah.
And most likely everybody at some point has gotten that finger door slammed somewhere.
It was a thunderstorm, lightning outside, everything. I was in a rush trying to get everything out of the car. Well, it was one of those you push the button and the door gradually slides. So I had gotten the
Didn't
stuff
see it
out
coming, did you?
Well, I got the stuff out of there and pushed the button, just, habit, and went to put my hand there and went to open the front door to get some stuff out. And the next thing I know, this thing, I guess it was gradually sliding the whole time. I didn't realize it.
Honestly, I've heard of people that done that and then had locked the keys in the car also, and then their hand is stuck there until somebody
my
pulls
goodness.
up.
That'd be horrible, yeah. I did have to make an emergency room visit, though.
Just
Stitches
say
and
it.
all.
She's just always, what her mom always told her, better safe than sorry.
No, it had to have stitches. It was
Throbbing.
awful. It was awful. The nerves were messed up, and it was awful. But anyway, I've had a minivan a couple of times.
Okay, just making sure that you went through that. We all have, I think, at some point.
Yes.
Joyce Godwin, how are you doing today? Terry Shelton is up. Let's see here. We got a lot of folks tuning in today. So glad to see y'all coming in.
Winnie Bartley, good morning. Pat and Jim Coker. Debbie Malone.
Let's see here.
LaWanda Grantham. How are all?
Chris Reed being the old beard watcher there. Chris.
Yeah.
We did have gunshots reported in Meridian last night. Now, no damage, no injury involved with this. As we pull it up, take a look. We would go here. This is going to be just northeast of Highland Park. Is where we had shots fired last night. Again, I tell you, no one was hurt, no one was injured, but they still happened here in our little hometown there. Gunfire.
Yes.
If you have them in your town, you watch from an outskirting town, Newton. We want to hear from you as well, Philadelphia. Y'all have any of that? Let us know so we can share the joy so everybody else will know what's happening in their neighborhood. We did have a fender bender. If you're leaving North Hills, you're going down Poplar Springs, and you get near 40th Street, whoop, we had a fender bender that got kind of rough there for a minute. As we pull this up, here it is. Here's the Meridian Police Department on scene helping those out. I think an ambulance was called to check everybody out to make sure they were okay. Now, let's get to the big story of yesterday. And little do we know at this point, but I think no news is good news. Is that a good way to say it?
Yeah, I hope so.
As we look at the wreck that happened in southern Lauderdale County yesterday, it was a head-on collision and horrible, just devastating what it done to the automobiles. Inside, both people were transported to a hospital and also a child, a 1-year-old child that is only, I think, had been one for 6 days. A serious injury to the child was taken to Jackson. We've asked for prayers. I have not gotten an update throughout the night, so that's why I say no news is good news. And we pray.
Yeah, we do hope that they're going to be okay.
It's a serious situation there.
Yes.
The helicopter landed there at the Long Creek ball field, and transported some of these to the hospital. It happened on Acock Road yesterday. It just, the more news we heard of it, the worse it was. A lot of times you'll hear these, and it's just not that bad, but that was.
Yeah.
Direct head-on hit. We don't know what caused the wreck. So whatever you're doing today, take a moment, do a little prayer there for somebody that really, really needs it. It's a baby.
Yes. All who were involved, but yes, that precious child.
We got reports out at Dalewood also yesterday. Boy, they had numerous volunteer fire departments show up to help out with this. As we pull this up, take a look at Sam Media. This is where it was on that east side over here, the 8400 block of East Parkway. A home caught on fire. Numerous volunteer fire departments. So zoom in on that. You can see a little bit better there. Here's the lake. It was right over in here. They responded to this, and it started in the attic. And they were there for a long time. We do hope as much of that was saved as possibly could be.
Gosh, lots of house fires and car fires, all that stuff
I know.
going on lately.
And it happened so quickly. And
Yes.
fortunately, I don't think anybody was at home. We've had 2 incidences like that, and we definitely, if a fire's got to happen, thank goodness it's when nobody is there.
Yes.
Now, another thing that we brought up yesterday was about the four-wheeler stolen. It has not been found yet. This would be down near Cricket Road, which is Highway 19, near Old Midway, where Rock House.
Okay, is this the back road that
Yes,
that turns off of 19?
Yes, if
It
you
goes
turn right on
behind-
State Boulevard Extension, it'd be your first left road right there before you get to Owl's Garden and Gift. And that's where the four-wheeler was stolen from, on that road there.
Okay.
If y'all happen to know anything, they sure would like to have their four-wheeler back. Thieves are thieves.
They're going around everywhere, though. And this is what, middle of the day or early
Yes.
day or part of the day? I mean, they're just broad daylight.
Also had a wreck mentioned in the overnight hours there at Bonita at the red light there, Highway 19, where you go to the mall. That was mentioned to me last night. Also, somebody sent me a text, said they came by it. Police officers were on scene trying to help everybody out with that also. Now, the next thing that we all know that has been happening in the community, let's take a break, and we'll be back and talk about football games.
Okay.
What's going on.
Yes.
So we'll be right back. Y'all don't be rushing off, going nowhere, getting coffee. You can run to the refrigerator real quick. Come back.
One of the most important places to you is your home. That's why Patrick Allen Companies is proud to provide style, functionality, and security to your home. There's nothing quite like a well-designed overhead garage door or vinyl replacement windows, or the safety of a storm shelter to help your family feel protected. Patrick Allen offers doors and windows for commercial and industrial with dozens of innovative designs. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
The Square Peg Mini Mall, located across from the Neshoba County Co-op in Philadelphia, Mississippi, is a family-owned business that promises to treat you like family. The Square Peg Mini Mall has been operating for over 10 years and boasts over 30 vendors with a rotating inventory to fit that something you're looking for. Inventory is constantly updating, so there's always a chance for a surprise when you step inside. Come visit the Square Peg Mini Mall, located on 335 West Main Street in Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace. As we went to talk about Meridian High and the Meridian Police Department now agreeing that off-duty officers can be used to work, that'd be paid out of a budget for Meridian Public Schools to work ball games for safety. It all sounds great.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. The two that are off probably worked a 20-hour shift. That just, at the end of the day, there's not enough officers to handle that. I think, and this is just me talking, and I have not talked to Meridian Public Schools. I've asked Dr. Carter to come in and talk with us, but I do know of 2 security firms that work that are off-duty cops from all around, which
Right.
would be county, people that work for Neshoba County, people that work for Newton County off-duty officers that would probably have more of a pool.
That would make more sense.
Yeah. I just don't think we all know the numbers that are out there, and there's no need of saying it out loud again for
Right.
criminals to hear.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a situation for our city. Number one, that they're so shorthanded, and to me, I don't think you need to take away from that. the people that you do have.
And the city went into that of saying it could only be off-duty officers. But again,
right.
There's not many of them.
They're overworked already, So when they, like you said, when they get off duty, they're tired. I mean,
Lord have mercy.
But yeah, it would make more sense to have a firm that handles that kind of stuff.
But again, I do know 2 firms they hire nothing but only cops. That are cops or police officers, however you want. Some people take offense to saying the word cop, and I don't want to offend anybody, but that's there are off-duty officers, and I know 2 of those in the community that do that. If you need those names, I'll be glad to give them to you. It takes in our surrounding counties of officers that are just as trained that might come in handy. We do need security there, without a doubt, moving forward as we study what went on before that ball game was canceled. And again, we're not running anybody down. It's just facts of what's going on in the community. Don't want anybody to take that wrong. It's just what needs to happen.
Right. I mean, you want to say just get rid of the troublemakers. Don't allow them back on campus. But I guess somebody has to supervise that.
Yeah, you've got to determine it. And they did say in their release that anybody that is caught given trouble would be expelled from the ball games and would not be able to return. But you also got to have somebody standing at the door going, nope, you're on the do not enter list.
Right.
Go back home.
Right. And to me, the troublemakers that are at the school, we saw the fight on video and all that. I mean, the ones who are making the trouble at the school, kick them out. Don't allow them back.
Of course, not all that would fall under what can be done by the school, and I don't know. And that's why I'd love to have Dr. Carter to come back to talk with us about this.
Because it's not fair to the ones that are trying to get an education and trying to do right.
Do y'all remember
and the teachers who are busting their tails trying to help?
Because this was said a lot. What the point that you just made, was it last year that a fight broke out at graduation, and it ruined the day for those who had worked hard all their lives to get to that 12th grade to get their diploma.
Right.
We don't need that. But I'd love to talk to Dr. Carter and just simply let's talk about all this. Community would love to hear it.
Right.
So I'm going to touch base with her again, see if she can make it next week. She was tied up all this week. Maybe she can come in next week and talk with us. Certainly appreciate that. Yes. As we start looking around at things going on nationwide, let me pull this up here. Did you see this? Iuka, Mississippi, where the babysitter was arrested. And I brought this up earlier this morning. She was babysitting 2 children. One 2-year-old died. Another one was bruised from head to toe. They've arrested her. She's 23 years old. Iuka in the northern part of Mississippi. Shameful, awful. That family has got to be going through turmoil like you've never seen before. And I got on a rant this morning, and I apologize if you were watching, of things that aren't done in the United States anymore as our farmers are paid not to do crops. As we look at as the WHO and all these different organizations say the world is headed towards starvation. Well, we hadn't had any ships leaving Ukraine with wheat and things that the countries need to produce food. And it's saying that 345 million people could be cut short. It's time to bring back the American farmer. He used to be the number one guy out there.
I mean, we could stand alone on our own 2 feet as a country if they would get themselves out of it, and let everybody be self-sufficient. It's just crazy. I mean, I think they want us to fail. As a country, you can't be that negative about things and not want. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're just, that's their agenda, is to make us fail as a country.
Let me ask this. This is one of those good-hearted stories I don't know a whole lot about. When you got married, did you go run off and get you a brand new dress, or did you use a dress that was passed down to you from somebody in the family?
I got a new one.
You got a new one. Okay. Yeah. Don't like tradition, do we?
Well, I didn't. I mean, nobody had one, that I knew of.
She couldn't fit in it.
And if I know myself right, I'd have probably wanted to tweak it a little bit anyway. And
here's a good story. This comes out of Chicago. For 6 generations, a dress has been passed down. Now, it's 8 generations. Cost $100 when it was originally bought, and each family member, it's been passed on down. Kind of a tradition for the family. That's pretty neat. You don't hear that much.
Yeah. It is neat. It really is.
Now, I don't know about alterations and all that they have to do with wedding dresses. I ain't got all that information.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they had to, do something. She looks kind of tiny.
Yeah. Maybe the dress is too big for her?
Maybe. A little bit, maybe.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I think
that's a good, neat thing that's sentimental and all. But
I don't know where Brick
Oh.
Gully is, but in their family on Christmas Day, I think it's been going on since 1642. They go out on Christmas Day and fire the same pistol up in the air.
Really?
But it's families that do traditions, and it's good to pass those on down to each generation.
Yeah, I like family traditions. I do.
Christy
I don't
says
really
she
have a
couldn't
whole
have
lot.
fit up in her mama's dress. She only weighed 95 pounds when she got married.
Oh, okay. I still
That's
had mine though. With
skinny.
my daughter, my oldest daughter, when she got married, I mean, I had told her she could wear it if she wanted to, but
She didn't, did she?
she did.
She didn't like your taste. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Oh goodness.
It just slipped out. This is troubling, as we all know that drugs are really, really bad. We're starting to see more and more about this. Now, fentanyl, one of the most bad drugs that's out there. Well, word is there's another illicit drug that is hitting the market that is 10 times worse than fentanyl. And I'm not sure that I can pronounce the name of it the way it's called here. Be careful. How do you pronounce this word right there?
Nitazines.
Yeah, however you pronounce it.
It's a class of synthetic opioids. Nitazines.
Y'all be careful. It's starting to increasingly show more and more deaths. 10 times worse than fentanyl. I don't do drugs, but you can't sit back and go, well, that's not a problem. It's
Right.
happening in every neighborhood across America. Someone trust me, has probably got some type of drug problem.
It's scary too because these people who handle the fentanyl, I mean, they're getting sick from it, just handling it.
Yeah.
It's that potent, I guess. I've heard of people, just I don't know, just being around it, handling it, and getting sick over it. I don't know. It's awful.
Tony
And
says
kids getting a hold of it.
she used her sister's wedding dress. Had to alter it a little bit, but she got all up in it and had a great one there.
Yeah.
It's a big money saver too. Wedding dresses are rather expensive, aren't they?
They are mine. We didn't spend a ton of money on the one that I had, but anyway,
Look,
some of them are up in the thousands. Though they are.
Our whole wedding when we got married was $500 32 years ago. $500 is all we had. That's what we spent. We done all right with it.
You'd be surprised at some of the money that's spent on weddings. I mean, into the thousands and thousands, and sometimes $100,000.
You could buy a house.
I would rather, take that money and go on a vacation and buy a house. I mean, yeah.
Brett said he's got the hammerback waiting on Christmas Day there for his tradition to come. Do y'all remember? I think we talked about this not long ago. It was the anniversary of it. 20 years ago in Washington, D.C., that sniper that was killing people that were pumping gas.
Yes.
This week, he was denied parole. He tried to get out, wanted out really bad. They said, no, you're going to stay in jail. That's good that was not allowed back into society.
Yeah. I don't think people that do stuff like that should even be up for parole anytime.
Yeah. You remember the Cal Rittenhouse thing? A lot of people, ended up being that the media wrongly accused that young man. The first guy that shot at him, and they tried to portray him in the news media as being this, a saint, that he was really a good guy. Whoops, what's this I read this morning? Uh-oh, he's been arrested. Yeah, armed robbery.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's such a role
Did
model.
he have that beard when all that was going on?
I don't remember because I've watched the video, and I urge everybody with this because even on a local level, there's videos that come out that looks like something is wrong, and people edit things to make it look to be something that it's not.
Oh, yeah.
Before it's shared, before you accuse somebody, make sure you know both sides of the story.
Right.
Because it can affect people's lives. I think we saw that at a local high school not long ago here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, they just pick and choose the little snippets that they want to share that makes it look the worst,
And we don't do that. We tell you what's right, what's wrong, and be sure that you know what you're doing before it's shared, because it does affect people's lives, no matter what side of the fence. Let's see here. Oh, boy. And I talked about this morning also. How much money can America keep giving to other countries when we have people on our streets that are starving, veterans that have nowhere to live, and we have an insurance problem across the United States? People can't get medical attention.
Right.
But we sent $2.9 billion a week ago to Ukraine, and we're sending another $600 million to help them out. Now, don't get me wrong, they're in a bind over there. But what about our citizens?
I think you should take care of your own before you start taking care of other countries.
This
I mean,
is
I just think you
serious.
do. And all these veterans who are on the streets, living on the streets,
Yeah.
that is the most disrespect that that you can imagine. I mean, the ones that went over there and fought, a lot of them are Vietnam veterans.
Yep.
You know, they fought for our country. Some of them have lost limbs. I mean, they're in wheelchairs and they're just sitting there, you know, just ignored by our administration.
You could probably take 100 acres out of the Yellowstone ranch there and build a city for all these people that needs a home. Truthfully, a portion, just a fraction of this could help so many people that are on our streets.
You know, I'm just so tired of the craziness going on up in Washington. I was watching yesterday, I think it was, or one of the days this week, Nancy Pelosi running her mouth up on the big screen, talking about the children. This and this and this is for the children. The children, we're doing it for the children. And then the next breath, she's talking about abortion and how women's rights and all this kind of stuff. Well,
I missed that one.
You know, you were harping on the children, but I guess you're just talking about the ones that have already been born into the world, not the ones who are waiting on their chance, because, you know, you're for abortion on that sense. But, you know, that makes me mad, though.
On another note, and there's been a lot of talk on this as we get ready for the big funeral that is coming for the Queen. It's supposed to be the most watched event in America. Joe Biden is the only president that will be attending. At first, I think it was talked about that Trump may go, but they're not. They're going to have a memorial service in Washington, D.C. All 4 living presidents have been invited. No word yet on any of them if they're going to attend. I almost feel like Donald won't. I don't know that, but he doesn't go with the norm normally.
Right.
They've been invited to that, but it's very few. But they've simply run out of room, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
They have 500 world leaders that are active, that are attending, and others that cannot make it.
Well,
A few of those stories there.
Yeah.
Washington, D.C. has become the work-from-home capital of the world. Nearly half of all workers in Washington are still working from home, to where the rest of the country is less than 10% now. Everybody else has had to go back to work. What makes them special?
yeah, why are they staying at home? I'm sure they've been shot and boosted, and, you know, that solves the world's problems right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Anyway.
That's shaking up the news world today as they look at Washington a little bit different. Now, have you been to Washington yet?
I have never been to Washington.
Me neither.
DC.
But what do they call the trees when they bloom in the spring? What are
Cherry
they?
trees.
Yeah, I want to go see that one day.
Yeah, I've heard it's beautiful. Yeah, one of my clients, her daughters live up that way, and she was anyway. But she said it's beautiful, and she went and, you know, stayed with them and got to experience that. I've seen pictures.
Yeah, it's a lot in our nation's capital. I'd really like to go see the actual Declaration of Independence behind that glass. I think it'd be neat.
It would be
a piece
neat.
of history that's been passed on and on and on. Let's hope that piece of paper is around forever for others to enjoy as we have had it, protected our rights. That's what we hope there. Let's see here. Jeremiah Johnson joined us. We do appreciate that. As he says, he works those 12-hour shifts as a mechanic.
A lot of people still like to work from home, though. My husband prefers working from home, you know, but they're back in the office 3 days a week. I think work at home 2 days a week. So.
Can you imagine Peg Bundy working from home? Bon. You know, and I knew a guy that was from Sugarlock. I won't call his name. He said, I'd come home from lunch, and he said, days of our lives cost me my farm. He said, I sat down to eat lunch, and he said, I got hooked. And he said, next thing you know, I wasn't back out in the field. He said, I lost my farm to him. He was honest about it.
Yeah.
Said he got hooked on the soap operas back in the day. Oh, you
I
couldn't
guess
help.
you could probably get more done at home, though, if you wasn't watching the soap operas.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you don't have interruptions, like people coming in your office or calling you every 10
In-laws.
seconds. Yeah.
People like that. Just say it. Let's talk about our friends over at Snowden and Company. They do a whole lot for our community. What they do is get you a home. And if you need one right now, take Dakota and Heather. They've used them. Talk to them. There's so many people that have gone in and spoken to Amanda. She's got them home. This is a beautiful home that's just been listed here in the West Lauderdale area. Are you looking for one? It's huge. It's big. Go by and take a look at that. You can even look at it online at the pictures. Now, you can go from DeKalb out to Northeast. You can even go out to Dalewood. Now, they got it from Newton, Clark, Neshoba, Lauderdale, all these adjoining counties, and even over into the Jackson market if you want a home there. Enterprise, places of that nature. They'll take care of you there. Lake Ross Collins, maybe you want to go out there in the West Lauderdale area. No matter where it is, there's a place for you, a home. And if it's not listed yet, it will come up. Let them know, and they'll get the square footage that you need. Here's Amanda, and here's her staff. Again, that number to call, 453-3937. Great folks. They're hometown. They've been right here all their lives. They know the area, and they'll get you exactly what you need. Visit with them. Talk with them today at snowdenrealestate.com.
There's something special about autumn. Colorful snapdragons, eye-catching mums, and pumpkins. What better place to pick these up than at Al's Garden and Gift? Come see the bountiful selection of pumpkins in a vibrant array of colors and sizes. Choose a handmade wreath or decorations to welcome an entrance or an indoor space. Savory sides will make tailgating fun with Captain Rodney's, Goodson pecans, Grumpy Man, Redneck gourmet jellies, grilling sauces, and more. Al's Garden and Gift, a charming place to harvest memories and gifts this fall.
It's here, the Fall Sweet Pea Swap, located at the old Jeffries building at Bonita Lakes. Drop-offs will be held September the 8th through the 10th. The public sale gets underway September 16th and 17th from 10 in the morning until 7 at night. Then again Sunday, September the 18th from 1 until 6 with 25% off. And our final day, Monday, September the 19th with 50% off from 10 until 7 p.m. Make sure to come by the most talked about event all year, the Fall Sweet Pea Swap, at the old Jeffries building, Bonita Lakes.
On this field, as on the gridiron, each inch is fought for and marked by sweat. Each inch taken through disciplined training. With a Kubota L2501 tackling each inch in the trenches, whether those inches are measured here or here, all adding up to yards. For each yard, Kubota measures victory, and the touchdown is Parrish Tractor. Here, we're much more than a tractor store.
Welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace. A lot of people saying, yeah, you better go see that decoration.
Yeah.
Kind of agree with that. Good morning to so many of you watching us. We appreciate you letting us into your home, whether it's through your phone or here on television. We appreciate that. Love your comments. As always, you can drop us a note even after we're off, inbox us or email us. Whichever way, just get in touch with us. Let us know your thoughts there.
Yeah, I had somebody message me yesterday wanting to know what station we were on now. They couldn't find us, but it's Fox 30.
Yep. If you're looking at it on TV, it's 30 right there in the corner, a little Fox thing we like.
Yeah.
Let's look back at history on a few things that happened on this day. This guy's really, as you go into history of people wanting to change history, you can't. This is really what happened. Like it or not, y'all ain't believe this, but the Mayflower set sail today. Now, y'all may want to rename it, call it something else, but it was the Mayflower. It would be old boy named Christopher Columbus involved in all that stuff, too. 1925, one of the greatest that ever came from the state of Mississippi. I did get to meet him one time. He was a legend. Had a good friend named Lucille that went everywhere with him. You know the story of Lucille?
I don't.
Supposedly, and I'll have to lean on Bill and probably Brick Gully on this, a fire broke out in a honky-tonk. A lady named Lucille caused the fire, and his guitar was left, and after that, it was named Lucille. Am I right? Or is that just myth? B.B. King was born on this date, 1925.
Okay.
And if that story is right, that's what I've always been told about Lucille, of the guitar being named that she started the fire in the honky-tonk, it was saved, and he named it Lucille after that. I don't know whether that's real or not, but it sure makes a great story, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
We talked about this show premiering the other day, but this is the day that he was born. Golly, this is starting to sound like a long time ago because we're so close to tapping 100 years on it. But Peter Falk was born on this date back in 1927. Peter Falk. It was all that. Just one more thing as he'd get ready to leave, and that's when he'd arrest you. It's all over for you.
With his cigar.
Yeah. Be careful if your wife ever says that. One more thing. The Bellamys, anybody remember them? You ain't just a whistling Dixie. If I said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me? I'd lie to you for your love. And the list goes on. Oh, hippie. Yep. David Bellamy was born on this date back in 1950. Of course, Let Your Love Flow was one of those big hits that crossed over their first big hits.
They had some good ones.
They did. Yeah. Boy, I'd lie to you for your love. I really like that one. You remember the guy? You don't hear anything about this guy.
This dude is just I know.
You got a creepy look on your face?
He creeps me out.
Really?
Yes, I've never.
I saw him make the Statue of Liberty disappear one time.
I know, but he just, that look, you'll see when he pops it on the screen. Like, it just.
You really think David's weird?
Yes, he's got a weird vibe look. I don't know, like this. No.
What's become of him? I hadn't heard of
It
him.
looks like he's looking straight through you. Like, you know.
That's supposed to be that magic look.
Ugh.
He's
creepy.
What was
He's
that?
creepy.
What was that song?
I'm
He's a
sorry.
magic man.
Yeah, he might be magic, but disappear.
But he used to really do all that. Magic is really, Penn and Teller are really funny,
Yeah.
by the way.
I mean, you know, I don't know. Just weird to me. But
Britt agrees he's heard the story there also of Lucille being named that way. We don't know if it's fact. I don't have any family members to call.
yeah.
Let's see here. 1969, what was the number one song in America? You'd know him as JR. A lot of people called him that, his close friends. It would be Johnny Cash and a boy named Sue. What a story that was.
That was a cute song.
He'd come up and bit off a piece of my ear. If I ever have a son, I'm going to name him Bill George.
Anything but Sue. Yeah.
Y'all know how it goes. Some of you will remember this. Some of you won't. I remember as a small kid, I was about 8 years old watching this. And the object of the show was the United States had fallen and they were running around. It was called Logan's Run. Does anybody remember this, or am I the only one?
I do not remember that. I do not.
Stuck with me for some reason. I don't think it lasted more than a couple of years, but they did try to make it a hit. Boy, how times have changed. Yeah. This was the song that I asked you about not long ago.
Yeah.
It was the first time that my ears would ever hear anything like this, and I was like, I don't know about that. And then the next thing you know, you got Toby Keith wanting to talk about me, and then you had the Kentucky Headhunters coming in, and now that's all that's on country radio.
Yeah.
Rapper's Delight was released.
Yeah, I'm not fond of the rap stuff.
But that was
especially
huge.
in country music.
That was huge. A lot of people remember that. The hip hop, hippie to the hippie hop. Yeah, I can't. You know the words?
Hop, hippie to the hippie to hip hip hop.
She knew it.
Don't
She knew
stop
it.
rocking.
Yep.
Yeah, I do remember that. To me, though, that doesn't
That's rap.
seem like rap.
That was rap.
That just don't. I don't. You know.
That was rap.
But everybody knew that. I mean, back in the day. So
Yeah. Except old Scotty Ray. Stayed over here, kept my flannel on, and go, no, that's not for me. A lot of you veered over.
yeah,
Let's see. 1984. Anybody remember that year?
I do. And let me just tell you, blazers were big back in that time. The blazers you wear, they're coming back, ladies. Blazers.
Let me just say, I never wore a blazer or dressed like any of these guys. It was not my thing. It wasn't my style, but I know some of you did it. Miami Vice premiered tonight. And I got to be honest about this. I have never watched one single show of that.
Really?
Never.
I used to watch it, but
Was it good?
yeah, it was pretty good. Don Johnson played a good role, and I can't remember this guy's like name in real life, but anyway, the blazer is coming back. Mark my words, it is. I've seen it. I've been looking at boutique clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a big hit for the fall.
See, Tony is singing along with you to that song. Don't stop rocking to the what now?
To the Bang Bang Boogie.
Y'all are killing me. Y'all know more about this.
Yeah.
And Debbie, I do know what you're talking about there, but Christopher Columbus had nothing to do with the Mayflower. It was before that. I was just making reference of the way history is being changed there. Absolutely, I know that.
Yeah.
As we look ahead to this, 1989, who was on the cover of TV Guide? Whoop, two of them. They're both controversial. Still are. Yeah, Roseanne and also Bill.
Yeah.
He's staring at her. I'm not real sure if they took that picture together or they were placed together to be on TV Guide.
I never really looked at her the same. I mean, she,
I know where you're going.
after the national anthem.
That's correct.
Yes, when she like grabbed her crotch and after she sung the national anthem. I mean, I'm sorry, total disrespect.
There is a line that
And
a
she
lot of
butchered
people
it to death. I mean, it was awful.
that you go, I just can't respect you anymore after that. It's
Right.
over for me and you.
Yeah,
and
it's done.
that
You're
that
done.
was.
Yeah.
She was, and of course, it brought a new. And I've always said this, and I still stand by my comments on this. That changed television. That was a era in television where they brought arguments and fights to television that had never been seen up until
Yeah.
then. And it
kinda
really
made it
changed.
okay.
Yeah,
Right. It started transitioning into what we have today, which is obviously awful. You know.
sure was.
So
This really wasn't that long ago, but I guess if you look at it on a calendar, it truly was. 1993, the number one song was a lot about living and a little about love.
Mm-hmm.
Any of y'all remember that from Alan? Even Alan is starting to show a few age marks these days. Mm-hmm. Let's see. This was funny, and it involved
Frasier.
radio. Y'all remember this?
I do.
Where's Eddie? I always
The
liked
dog.
Eddie. Eddie should have been in this picture.
The Jack Russell Terrier, whatever, wave, I guess you
Yeah.
would call it. Everybody had one back then. You know, that was
in
a
the
big
50s,
thing.
it was Lassie that everybody had one because
Yeah.
she was on television there.
We had one. We had several, but we had one in particular that had a little spot around his eye. It was cute. But
Do you know the words to the Purple People Eater? I can see by the look in her eye, no.
no, I just know.
You do know the song, right?
Yeah,
Sheb Woolley passed away on this date back in 2003. Of course, he wrote that novelty song, The Purple People Eater.
big eye, big horn, flying purple people.
You
Yeah.
do know more
That's
than
the only
you're
part
admitting.
Of it I know.
But it worked from there. But he was also in a lot of films, and he'd done a lot of other things, too. Wrote some other songs.
Mm-hmm.
But he was in the news. And then this bald-headed guy would come up into your television because he was a guest star on Oprah for a little bit. And she
Yeah.
liked him for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd start telling you what you needed to do. And, well, I think America listened.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil premiered. 2002 was the year that came about. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep seeing where he's divorced or getting a
I've
divorce.
heard that.
And then but if you see a show, they're like walking off holding hands,
Think they're trying to work it out?
I don't know. I don't really watch the show anymore. I used to watch it a good bit, but I don't watch much TV. And if
We're
I
worried
do have
about ya.
the TV on now, it's on the Andy Griffith Show. I mean, that's really all I care to watch.
You and Andy.
Yeah.
Alrighty there. We turn to Chet. Well, they know what's going on out in Center Hill this morning. They're going to be there till about 5 o'clock this afternoon taking care of business. If you got an issue, call them ahead of time. Let them know you're on the way, and they'll be ready. They'll get you an estimate and tell you exactly what it'll take to, well, repair your car, your truck, or your Classic, whichever it is. Whether you've got something that happened at a red light, side swiped, maybe you were T-boned, maybe you've gotten a key, maybe you leaned up against your car and the fender fell in. They're not made of what they used to be.
Yeah.
Talk to Chet. He'll put it back to the way it was, make it look good, and color match it. That's what it's all about. This is their paint booth. As you'll see, they do classic cars. They can put it back mint condition with no flaws. Word of mouth, honesty is what's gotten them to where they are now. Visit with them today, right there in the corner across from the gas station, 495-9888, 737-2961. Drop in to see my friend Chet.
Yeah.
You'll be glad that you did. Really, really good folks.
Mm-hmm.
If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike Reed has years of experience dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squealers Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealers simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealers are there to help. Drop in for lunch today or a night out on the town. Squealers Barbecue, the best in fine barbecue.
Folks, if your yard is needing grass and you need it quick, talk to our friends at Coates Hydro Seeding. They offer residential and commercial. The great thing about this, it doesn't wash, the water treads, and it holds the soil in place. It's the easiest way to grow grass. That's hydro seeding. You'll get a great looking lawn without all the dry spots. How many times have you put out seed and it gets washed away, blown away, or even the birds eat it? Talk to our friends at Coates Hydro Seeding, 601-728-1954. Bill said he worked for the company that used the boats that they used in Miami Vice. He worked for a company that they got the boats from. Ain't that just neat?
That is neat.
Huh. Also, Roseanne did go from funny to crossing a line in America that most people went,
Yeah.
She just, is the word vulgar? Is that the best way to put it?
She can be vulgar.
It,
Or used to could be vulgar. 'Cause she did stand-up comedy, before she did the show. And all of her
It's
other
amazing
little
how
antics.
people just don't get it. Like that What was his name? Carlson?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Just absolutely filthy. I can't remember his name. Something Carlson. I think that was his name. But, then you take somebody like Jerry Clower, who's very clean. And there's a lot of people that are clean that do comedy.
Sinbad, he was always clean.
Yeah.
He was funny and was always pretty clean. I never really heard him say anything bad. I really didn't. But
Anita says she's from Arkansas visiting, and she's kind of hooked on us. Thank you for visiting us. Hope you'll continue to watch us after you go back home.
That's right. You can watch us on Facebook, YouTube.
All right. We want to tell you something that slipped in on the internet, just kind of in the cover of night, and they kind of go like, well, hadn't that already been there? It was quietly, as this is doing. Marine Corps is the first to rescind all of these penalties for COVID. Do you remember when they were going to fire everybody if you didn't take the shot?
Well, there's been a lot of military people let go throughout the branches of the military.
And this is going to fall under the religious beliefs. If you felt that you didn't want to take the vaccine because of your religious beliefs, they were saying you're going to be fired anyway. You're going to lose your job. They're rescinding that now. If it was for religious beliefs. Now, if it was for other reasons, I don't think they're canceling it. But if it was for religious, the Marines are the first to step up to change that. Right? That's a step in the right direction.
I think it's crazy that you have to have an exemption like that. I mean, I think if you did not want to take it, you just shouldn't be made to take it. And also, like if you were made to take it, they dismiss any kind of accountability for the manufacturers of these vaccines. If somebody was to get sick from it, you can't really do anything to them because you signed this little waiver saying, I think that's wrong.
We saw not long ago, a few weeks ago, where the first case of this of hospital workers that were fired because the same reason religious beliefs have won a lawsuit where they were all fired in masses. They've won. So we're seeing a little bit come back from all of this. We'll watch this. If any more comes up out of this, we'll let you know. The Martha's Vineyard, as we briefly mentioned earlier, still causing havoc across parties of the extremely rich there. And you brought up, what is it?
The Hamptons. Where is, because I'm not one of these like well-to-do rich people that get to vacation in the Hamptons.
You got a pop-up tent and whole 9 yards.
When are they going to send a few buses up to the Hamptons, though? I don't know.
That's New York is where
that's
that
probably
is.
Where
Drop DeSantis a note there. He might do that.
I don't know. That might be the
he's pretty clever
destination,
Pay attention. McDonald's, one of the biggest companies that America has. There's no doubt about it. McDonald's is saying, hello, Mayor Lightfoot, Chicago. Our people are getting scared to come to work. They can't make it to work because they're scared that something will happen to us. Pay attention there. Crime is out of control in these large cities as people are truly scared to come to work, to the buildings. What will happen to me? McDonald's there's no telling what they pay in taxes in that town. Listen to the people that are taxpayers in your city, Mayor. Not so sure she's going to listen, though, y'all.
She seems to do her own thing.
I got to read on this because, sometimes you read a headline and the story and you're not real sure somebody's telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth. This one I ain't so sure about. I got to do more research on this, but they're saying a game-changing new battery. And this would, if this were true, it would truly be a game changer to where a car can be charged in 3 minutes, electric car, and the battery would last for 20 years. It would be good for 20 years. By charging it, only 3 minutes.
That sounds crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's like these light bulbs that they claim, the little coily ones, Oh, those last forever. They last so long.
What is
Not always the case.
And somebody will have to remind me because this does exist. It's the original light bulb that's been burning it's in a firehouse somewhere. It's been over 120 years or something close to that that's been burning. They've been turned off, still working, one of those filament bulbs.
Huh. Well, years ago they made things so much better, it seemed like, than they do today. Things tend to not last as long. I've heard appliances are not lasting as long now.
You know why? It's not American made anymore.
That's right.
The quality of work was gone. Even cars used to be handmade. Well, they had that stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Where's that Maytag man when you need him who's bored and lazy?
When our house got hit by lightning, we had to get all new appliances and stuff because everything was damaged. So, we got a new stove and oven and everything. The oven, 6 months in after we got it, I think, quit working.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We've been without an oven. I've been cooking in a toaster oven.
Girl, you need to get that fixed.
Yeah, the guy came the other day after we waited 2 weeks, and then he said, "Oh, I got to get a part. It's gonna be 2 more weeks." So,
Because you know why? It's not made in America.
right.
Well, hey, this puzzles you how this can go on. As we remember back when that police officer who was the white deputy in Alabama who got the guy out of jail and they went on that spree. As we look back now, they're releasing more information on that. They had
Casey White.
yeah, over 1,000 sexy phone calls to each other while he was in jail. Now, if I'm not mistaken, every phone call that's in a jail is recorded. They are. If you talk to an inmate in there, it's being recorded.
Well, he probably had a cell phone of his own, don't you imagine?
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, she probably brought that too.
She might have snuck that in.
Yeah. And if they checked her messages, that's probably where it showed that.
You've heard of this site, OnlyFans, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a site where, we saw a lady that was going to church and nobody else knew she was a Sunday school teacher. She was making $37,000 a month by showing
a month.
showing racy pictures of herself. Whoop, they've caught somebody else on there. This time it's a Detroit police officer. She was making cash. Where she went wrong is she wore her uniform. That's where you cross the line. Now, had she done that and it not involved that, probably nothing they could have done. But she, what do you call it when you, the code of ethics, wearing the uniform, and that will get you fired if you're a police officer doing something in uniform you shouldn't be doing. No word yet on how much she's earning each month from her pictures. I'm going to leave it at that. She could be starving is all I'm saying.
The first time I ever heard about that OnlyFans was when that couple, remember we had that?
The older couple?
Yeah, it was an older lady and a young guy, and they were making videos and putting it on OnlyFans, and
We don't know what the videos are,
yeah,
and I
don't
don't want to know.
We don't know. We just know that they were, they said that they were not so great.
Yeah.
Not so appropriate. Let's put it that way. So.
When your grandma goes to that, it's done got bad in America. I'm just telling y'all. Have a word with your grandma. Say, act right, Grandma. Let's talk about our friends over at Maple's One Stop Shop. What do? Well, they sell gas, candy bars, and things like that. And lo and behold, breakfast is going on right now out in Causeville. They got the eggs a-stirring. They got bacon. It's all good and crispy this morning. See them. Get a biscuit, and lunchtime is coming. They'll have that over to Chevron at St. Paul and also back out at Causeville. If you need a little pizza, they'll do that out at Bonita and also out at out on Pine Springs. Cold drinks and a whole lot more. Maybe you need an A&W or one of those purple drinks there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they taste good. See them. They'll fix you up with lunch, or maybe you need a lottery ticket. Maybe it's your lucky day. I feel lucky. Y'all know it. Yeah. See them today for ice cream and a whole lot more. 6 locations from Bonita, Pine Spring, Causeville, over to the 31st Avenue, Broadmoor, and Last Chance Tobacco. Visit with them today. Friends of yours, you'll see them. Time to stop spending your entire weekend mowing grass. Step up to a Skag zero-turn lawnmower. Freeman Tractor in Collinsville has the #1 rated zero-turn mower, Skag, with cutting widths from 36 inches to 72 inches. Skag, the #1 choice of professional landscapers because they know nothing outcuts or outlasts a Skag. 0% financing for 48 months with payments starting as low as $129 a month. Stop by Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 and see coleslaw or buttermilk.
Health Now is your locally owned medical equipment store. Every person's need is a little different, and they offer a little bit of everything from hospital beds, wheelchairs, reclining back wheelchairs, breathing treatments, CPAPs and supplies. They even have walkers, bath products, and oxygen. And the great thing about Health Now is they offer same-day service. They're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and on call 24/7. Health Now Medical Equipment, where we treat our patients like family.
J&J Tire Muffler, located at 3420 8th Street, invites you by. And if you need a front-end alignment, make sure to try their new state-of-the-art alignment machine. No matter the size of your truck and car, J&J can align it. J&J also has touch-free mounting, laser wheel balancing, and as always, they provide preventive maintenance, including CV axles, shocks, struts, brakes. And they even do work on motorcycles. With the largest selection of new and used tires, along with exhaust systems. Locally owned and operated since 1978 in Meridian. Joyce Williamson made a point there. She said she bought a Kenmore washer in 73, had it for 35 years.
You know, the refrigerators years and years ago, some people still had their refrigerators running.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that were probably mustard, like a mustard yellow, or avocado green.
Yeah, well, you
Those
couldn't get rid of that
great
color.
colors,
Yeah.
that they used to have.
Have mercy. But things did work longer and better. Freezers ran and ran and ran, except Aunt Bee's.
Yeah. But Andy got her a new one.
Yeah, after she'd done messed up the meat man.
Yeah, she had the dogs chasing her through the night.
I remember that. As we go back and reflect on things that happened, and it took him a while to calm things down. If you remember that, with what's going on in the state of Mississippi with the Brett Favre thing, as you remember, he had got accused of a few things a few years ago of sex texting.
Yes.
Well, all of that is coming back to light as the old girl says he cost her job. Got away with it. Another girl is bringing him up in the news today. Shannon Sharp. She's calling him an ugly word. I'm not even going to repeat that. Whew, she said you have to be sorry for stealing up from the underprivileged. We don't know Brett Favre's connection to this yet of where it's going to end up. I'm not going to call him anything. He has a lot of fans. Maybe it's a misunderstanding, but he's tied some way. He knew some people that were doing wrong. For sure. We'll wait. They need to turn this back over to Shad White and let him go.
Right.
Let him find the truth because Shad White could. Let's hope that. But he did uncover it. I
Yeah.
think he was on CNN yesterday talking about it.
I
We'll
need
wait.
to try to find these because I haven't seen these. Of course, I was, I never have enough time to sit down and really watch anything. But
Well, your favorite on CNN was Spared His Job. Now, they're going to take away his nighttime prime show and put him on the morning show, but he did survive, and I know you're glad. Don Lemon, you're a big fan of his. Don't act like you're not.
I don't like his what do you call it? Sarcasm.
He's got a little bit there.
Yeah.
Yesterday, for those of you who are addicted to TikTok, it was down for an hour. It's back up now. It was down for just about an
I bet
hour.
some
now.
people were having withdrawals.
That is a site that people are glued
They
to.
say it's addictive, really. Like you said, people are addicted. I'm serious. Like I know people who sit there and just watch it. Couples who send each other videos that they think's funny. There are some very funny ones out there. I am standing corrected.
What did you get
Scott
corrected?
corrected me. It's not mustard yellow appliances. It was Harvest Gold
Oh.
and avocado green.
I do remember that now that you bring that
and
up.
who did not have the shag carpet that was gold in their house back in the day?
We had the green.
Green.
We had the green
My
shag
grandmother
carpet.
had green carpet, but it wasn't shag. It was that almost like the Berber kind of, but it had designs in it. It was green.
Gwen says that Shannon Sharp is a guy. Whoops. He's
Ooh.
a sportscaster. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Whoops. I'm sorry.
You stand corrected.
I did too. I had never heard of that. I assumed it was a woman.
Yeah.
So my mistake on that. But a lot of folks coming after him. The weekend is here.
Thank goodness. Yes. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. I hope if you have big plans that you have a great weekend because enjoy not having any rain.
Right.
And cooler temperatures at night.
Yeah, we'll be back coming Monday morning. We'll be here all weekend to let you know what happens as quickly as we can.
Yes. See you back Monday morning, 8 a.m.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.